important breaking news coming in on the NEET controversy. The Supreme Court is presently hearing the NEET examination case as well. The Supreme Court has also issued an ultimatum to the centre over this entire controversy. Supreme Court reiterating that there was no systemic breach of the NEET exams. Remember, this is a crucial hearing. The Supreme Court is to provide a very detailed judgment on no retest today. So we're expecting to hear from the Supreme Court on this matter. Let me go straight across now to Ananya for the very latest. Ananya, over to you. What exactly has the Supreme Court said as it is hearing this matter?
Well, definitely, the Supreme Court had to pronounce its detailed verdict when it comes to this particular matter, and very clearly the Supreme Court has set out the remit of this particular committee that was set up by, in fact, the Ministry of Education, headed by the former ISRO chairman and also comprising former AIIMS director, Randeep Guleria. And remember, the court has asked the committee to actually look into, strengthening the SOP when it comes to the travelling of the papers from, in fact, various places. In fact, the Supreme Court has gone on as far as to say that the closed vehicles should be considered apart from using e-rickshaws to actually transport the OMR sheets and the question papers. In fact, it has also asked for a stringent data protection mechanism to be developed so that the sensitive information and the privacy of, in fact, the students and, in fact, the papers can actually be confined to and can be kept safely. Not only that, it has asked the National Testing Agency to actually collaborate with the international testing agencies so that they can draw up international standard mechanism so that no such leaks or any kind of a flip-flop takes place. In fact, the Supreme Court also in an observation went on to go say that these kind of flip-flops that have happened this year does not look good on the face of the National Testing Agency, the national testing body of the country, and the centre must look into all of these issues and should ensure that none of it is actually repeated in the near future. So very clearly and categorically, the topmost court of the country setting the remit of this committee, and it has extended, in fact, the timeline for the committee to actually submit a report to the Ministry of Education. The deadline is the September 30, 2024, that the committee should actually give its recommendation. So we'll have to wait and watch as to what the committee goes on to say as far as a stringent mechanism for a safer examination is concerned, and so that no kind of incident which happened this year should be repeated in any other exam in the country.
Oh, absolutely. It's going to be a very important verdict, something that all the students will be very keenly waiting for. It's on a controversy that has cast a shadow on the sanctity of India's top medical examination. I'm going to go straight across now to Sharon for the very latest. Sharon, while we wait for that important, crucial verdict, you in fact have been covering all of those student protests. You've been speaking to the students, how they feel so let down by the entire examination process. What are their expectations from this crucial verdict?
Well, there is, of course, displeasure and disappointment with what the Supreme Court verdict has been, that there is not going to be a re-examination, because majority of the students have in fact been demanding that there needs to be a re-examination when it comes to the NEET UG 2024. Now, the focus, now that with detailed judgment that has come up with the Supreme Court when it comes to the NEET examination, the focus is now going to be the counselling session that is going to begin from August 14. Remember, Avantika, just 2 days back, the revised examination results of the National Testing Agency has in fact released when it comes to the NEET UG. Remember, before this, around 67 students topped the examination, but after the revised examination, only 17 students have got 720 out of 720. Now, on 14th of August is when the MCC, which is the Medical Counselling Committee, is going to conduct the counselling. It is going to be a 2-3 week process, after which the academic session will begin. Now, this is something that has been highlighted by the Supreme Court as well, that the reason why the REIT examination should not take place is because the academic session will in fact be disturbed. Right. It is only going to delay the academic session. Remember, the government has also said around 300 crore will in fact be going into conducting a REIT NEET examination, re-examination. So all this, considering all this, a detailed judgment has come from the Supreme Court. Now all eyes are on the counselling session that will be conducted by the Health Ministry. Absolutely. All the work of the NTA and the Education Ministry is over, and now the Health Ministry will take over the counselling session.
Right. We'll just tell our viewers that the top court has already refused a retest, saying that there was no systematic leak of the NEET UG examination paper, and today's verdict is going to be a detailed account of why the Supreme Court feels that there should be no retest. Sharon and Ananya, thank you both for joining us.